Hey guys, welcome to the first Coffee Up podcast. I'm Abigail and this is my mom, Rae Malee.
Hi everyone.
We are a real estate team here in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Florida. We are part of the Walsh Collective. I'm a little family mom and daughter duo here, and we have decided to start our own podcast.
Yeah,
we
I
really
hear there's not a lot out there,
Yeah.
so we're excited to do this.
We are, and I'm new to this game. I just got my license May 1st, so I'm pretty new, but I come from a banking finance background, so I think I have a good insight on some financial things, and you've been in the business for...
I've got about 30 years experience, and you say new to this, but we have drug her body over the all over the South America. Not South America. South America.
East Coast America.
Yeah.
North America.
But
we're not geography experts here, so
local,
bear with us.
Local geography, but I mean, you've seen us buy and sell. I think we're on our 14th home.
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you know what's in here?
I don't care. Don't tell me.
Now, so that's 28 transactions.
Yeah.
And we always involve the kids. So that's something really cool if you're buying or selling, to let your kids experience that and why we chose or didn't choose a house and all of that. So,
yeah, that's very true. Funny story is they went to downsize this 14th time and ended up with the house with an extra bedroom. But what they did do is they cut their mortgage in half. So that's what was really important.
Almost, yeah. Our living expenses were almost cut in half. So strategic buying and having an experienced realtor to help you get those goals is important.
Definitely.
It's important.
So today's main topic, since it's our first episode, we're going to do an episode of first. So mainly for first-time home buyers and first-time realtors, as I am one and hopefully soon to be first-time home buyer. Before we begin though, since this is the Coffee Up podcast, obviously we need our coffee.
Must.
Days
Realtors.
can be very long, and who doesn't love a good coffee? I personally love my Dunkin' coffee. So today I have my favorite donut is the blueberry glaze donut.
Your dad too.
So I somehow found this coffee and it tastes just like a blueberry glazed donut.
Okay, that would be a problem for me. That would be
It
addicting.
is. So to be a little healthier, I do a medium iced protein latte, and then I do 2 shots of the sugar-free blueberry and 2 shots of butter pecan swirl.
Ooh.
And then if you like it a little sweeter, I add the cold foam to it. If you really like it sweet and you don't care about macros, to make it literally taste like you're drinking a donut, you do just a Dunkin' Dunka-Latte. It's their coffee milk. It's really sweet. But same thing, 2 blueberry, 2 butter pecan. And that's your, not macro-friendly one that tastes, obviously it does taste a little better, but for protein and healthier, I'll drink this every day.
Well, I'm a little more basic. I didn't have time to run out today, so I did my iced coffee at home, and I used the Starbucks ground coffee, extra ground coffee as a instant.
Oh, okay.
Instant coffee, yeah.
So you don't need an espresso or Keurig or anything?
No, you don't have to. Not if you're in a hurry. And I like that for the ice. It dissolves really good, and I just use my almond milk. And I did pour a little creamer in there for sweetness. And if you want cinnamon or a shot of caramel in there, if you got that at home, you can do that.
Here, 2 shots of vodka.
So this is my quick iced coffee to go from home when I don't have time to stop.
I think you buy your syrups off Amazon, but as everybody knows, the Chobani creamers are just the best. And the ingredients are healthier too, It seems to be pretty natural and basic.
So, all right. Well, let's get back to real estate. Like you said, in light of our first, we're going to talk about some of the...
what everybody's talking about are the interest rates.
Okay. How are they looking today, Abigail? I know...
So they're still sitting between 6 and 7.
6, 7? 6, 7. 6, 7.
If you go with new construction, they can get you down to about 3.99 to 4.99%. Again, this is all big factor is your credit score, debt to income ratio, a lot of those other things, but that's kind of the median range right now.
Yeah, but if you
And
find an existing home you want, still don't buy a house because of the interest rates. Like people do
don't
that.
not buy a house.
Right, right. Because what I find is people say, "Oh, I want to wait for the rates to go down," and what they don't realize is when the rates go down, the prices go up, and you end up paying
Paying
more
more.
than if you had just gone with that interest rate because you can refinance. The other thing that's out there is there are some assumable loans out there.
I mean, we have two of those.
Yeah.
One of those right now.
One right now that I mean, we have one you can assume for it's 5%. So that can save you $200-300 a month just from assuming, and you buy out the equity. So it depends. It depends on how much equity and how much it's going to cost you, but those can be really good deals. So again, ask your realtor if they're aware of any assumables out there and see what it's going to be to get into that, and that could be a great option also.
Definitely.
But I will say, as far as interest rates and lenders, you mentioned about first-time home buyers and some tips. One of my things is going to be get pre-approved first before you even start looking.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, definitely.
Because here's what will happen. A nice couple like you and Tom go out and you'll look at some $300,000 house, and it's just, oh, we love this house, and then you find out you qualify for $250,000, and there are a lot of beautiful homes out there for $250,000, but you saw that $300,000, and that's what you want.
It's just
not going to work. So
Yeah.
find out first. You don't want to be disappointed. We want to get you excited and then get you into something you can afford. You don't waste your time. The other thing, the key for that is a local lender. This is so important. People go online and use these. I can't even think of them. There's so many out there. But ask your local realtor if they have a preferred or respected local lender that they recommend.
And a lot of them do. I know we have our
we have a couple
preferred
that we work
lenders.
with.
Because it's a stressful process buying your home. First time home, 14th home, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a process, and you want to make sure you have people that are on your side, that will answer your questions. Not have, people that get mad. There's no stupid questions. There's really not. I'm one of those people that I double check everything, even if it's the smallest
So we want
detail.
somebody that's patient and appreciates that. And then if you're not ready yet,
They're going to
maybe your
help
credit
you
score-
become ready.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, okay, this is where your credit score is. This is where we need to get you. And they'll give you some suggestions.
This is what's holding you back the most.
Right. How to get there. Sure. But also I have had some of those online lenders tell somebody they're approved. We find a house and find out that they're not. Oh, well, you qualified. Well, you qualified based on what you told them, but when they pulled your credit, they couldn't give you an approval. So they had looked at a house, gotten all excited, wanted to make an offer, and then it was like, oh, no, you can't get that. So again, a local lender is really important, and your local realtor should have some suggestions for you. So then that leads us to, again, an experienced realtor or a new realtor. Look, Abigail's new, but she has a great broker that she can pick up for advice. There's other successful agents in the office that she could go to if I'm not available, or to get a second opinion. Because look, my opinion's my opinion, but there are multiple ways of doing things. So you don't want to say don't go with your friend who just got their real estate license, but find out who do they have that they can would help maybe,
who is their broker,
right?
And your friends, if they're doing it just for a side gig, they may not work as hard, but there's some like me. There's some new realtors out there that really want this, that really want to help people find their home, become their friend in the process, because it's stressful and you want somebody on your side, and that's what I want to be to people.
And Abigail can tell you, it's so funny, like people think it's easier, I just go show houses and they buy it. But when I told her when it's busy, I can work 60 to 100 hours a week. I think she
Yeah.
really sees that, and she's putting in the time. And
Doing it now, yeah.
That's what'll make you successful.
9 o'clock phone call, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
So that's what.
24/7. That's what I tell people. So,
So I guess a big thing too I wanted to talk about with the pre-approval and first-time home buying is your credit score. Working in the bank, I worked with a lot of people that unfortunately just didn't have the education, the financial education. Like I grew up with you guys, talking about the bills and talking about what was going on, and
as soon as you turned 18, we
made me get a
co-signed
credit
on
card.
One, yeah.
I don't think you co-signed because
Your brothers
when I
did.
turned 18, Discover came out with their Discover student card. I'm not sure if they still do that or not, but I opened that up. It gave me a $500 credit. The big thing is though, if you don't have a credit card, if you're not 18 yet, just know when you turn 18, you can get approved. It's not going to be a crazy, Amex Gold Platinum credit card, but it's still going to help you
Absolutely.
in the long run. And,
If you treat it right.
If you treat it right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can get
You know.
yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
I get it a
So-
little bit, but, you
Yeah.
can get out of it. There's ways, but the big thing is, getting one, using it, getting that credit score started. Because
established.
when I'm 24 now, almost 25, and it still is hurting my credit score because I haven't had a line of credit open for at least 10 years.
Yeah. For 40 years.
So I've had a credit card. I'm like at 6.5 years now, and it's still in the yellow and not the green because I haven't had it for long enough.
Right. So getting started early is important. And they didn't have that student when your brothers were young.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. But here's what I did. Your brother needed some new tires. And I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go get you a Tire Choice credit card.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 12 months same as cash. So put them on there.
Yeah, no interest.
No interest, divide it by 12, and you make that payment every month. And that was, and that got him really good credit. Or I told him, just put your oil change on there. And then when you get the bill, pay it off right away. You won't pay any interest if you pay it off soon enough. So anyway, so look into that, if, because, some people come from families that don't use credit cards or
Yeah,
don't understand.
it's understandable. It's scary. You can
Yeah.
get yourself in trouble, but
But unfortunately, you need it to build your credit, to get,
a home, a car,
and the best rates.
the best rates, exactly.
Yeah, so that's important. So you mentioned about builder and builder rates. One thing I would point out is a lot of people and first-time home buyers, even people who've been buying homes before, don't realize that it's really important to get a realtor to buy a brand new home. A lot of people say, I didn't think I needed one. And you remind them, that builder rep works for the builder. The price of paying for a realtor, an outside realtor, and different things that you can ask for when you purchase, your local realtor, experienced realtor, can get you thousands of incentives that you don't even know about. And again, the builder doesn't want to put those out there, and that they don't need to. So I've gotten people a lot of things that they're like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought. And it was so funny. One couple, her brother had just bought a house from the builder, and he's like, you got what? I didn't get all that. And I'm like, well,
I say that's a big thing. You want a negotiator on your side.
Yeah.
That's a big part of being a realtor is, knowing the small stuff because it can add up. I know one of the things we do, if we take a customer to a new build and they purchase a new build, realtors can receive incentives.
Yeah. So, depending on what that is, sometimes we may be able to do a little extra. It just depends on, what that is. But sometimes if they're bigger and they don't include a refrigerator, maybe we can give you some kind of a credit for something like that. But, that just depends on what it is and all of that. So, definitely get your realtor. Because then you can, we help you with inspections. It's a brand new home. Well, I had a brand new home once and found out that the sewer wasn't connected correctly because I had an inspector do a sewer scope. And if we hadn't done that, we would have had a sinkhole And that means we would have had to disclose that when we go to sell the house.
Yeah.
So
or it could
it's
have ended,
really
you know, a
important.
little worse than that. So
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, backups, sewer
Yeah.
backups, all of that. So
I mean, I know somewhere around here too, it's a brand new house and the foundation wasn't laid properly.
right,
You
right,
know, and
there was cracking, and the a third party home inspector. So the
Yeah.
builders will say, "Oh, we had our
we have
inspector
a home
inspect it."
inspector, yeah.
You know, not that they're,
Not
but-
everybody's like that, but there are.
Yeah, so
We
it's
just-
just good. Get your realtor. A lot of our out of town, if you Google my name, because we just started the Walsh Collective. You'll see the customers say that having the right connections, having an experienced realtor,
important.
And out of town, out of state. I mean, we've actually had people buy a home sight unseen. So it was really important that I was a full service realtor. I usually point that out. We are full service realtors, which means we will show up for your inspections with you when it's appropriate, your appraisal. If it's well and septic, you get a well and septic inspection and things like that. And if you're out of town, I had a couple from Hawaii, and they couldn't get here for all that. One from Germany.
Yeah.
And, we were able to just be their eyes and ears for that and make sure things got done. So, yeah, so those are going to be some of my suggestions for first-time home buyers. Because if you go into a builder without your realtor, a lot of them will say when you come in with your realtor, "Oh, well, we already have you registered and you didn't have a realtor. So, no, they can't represent you."
Yep. Because they
So-
just change things around. And so now I know we have to, before we're allowed to show our house, we have to have a buyer broker agreement with that buyer. Now, not necessarily they have to go with us for everything. There is a way to do it. So it's just for that house. But
Anywhere.
you have to do it before.
Yeah.
And I get it. A lot of people could be a little weary of that, of, thinking that realtors are just trying to, make me become the
No,
realtor and
that
sign
was the-
something. But, that's not up to a lot of realtors, a lot of this stuff. But you should have a realtor, that explains that to you.
Right. Yeah. And it's all over the U.S. now. So the DOJ, they wanted to make sure everything was disclosed to protect the realtor and to protect the buyer, to make sure they were aware that realtors get paid and even disclose what they're going to get paid. So, yeah, so they did that to just kind of protect everybody and make sure everything is disclosed. So don't be surprised if they say, "Oh, you want to go see this house? I do need you to sign a buyer broker agreement." And if you haven't met that realtor yet and you're like, "Well, I don't know if I want you to be my realtor for everything, but I want to see this house."
Get to know you, yeah.
Yeah, then we have one, okay, let's just do a one-time showing. I'll put in this specific address, and then if you decide that you want to have us to find the home, if that isn't the right home for you, if you want to see other homes, then we can extend that to a whole territory. So yeah, good point.
So tell me a little bit about, you don't always need 20% down. The big, I've always thought about it until like 6 months to a year ago, that I
Right.
don't necessarily need 20%
Yeah,
down.
that is a
because
big misconception. And if you're
a
buying
lot of money.
if you're buying a $200,000 house or townhouse in Florida, it's hard to get much for $200,000. But even at just a $200,000 townhome, that's $40,000. I mean, what 24-year-old, most don't, have that kind of cash, plus your inspection fees, plus your closing costs. So you are right. What that means is if you do 20% down is it eliminates what's called PMI, private mortgage insurance. And that just, if you don't have 20% down, basically the mortgage company wants to have insurance that if you don't pay, that they're not going to
Lose out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But if you got 40,000 instant equity in the house, the bank's most likely to cover most of their costs and fees if you don't pay your mortgage. But honestly, there are options for 100% financing. And people don't realize that. Is it a little bit more expensive? Yes. But, I tell people if you're renting, you're building someone else's wealth.
Yep.
You're making
You're
someone
paying
else
their
rich.
mortgage,
Yeah.
their vacations.
You can run the numbers and it's really easy now with AI and ChatGPT.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm renting and this is what I'm paying, but I have the opportunity to buy this house. This is the interest rate. How much would I save over 30
Well, and over
years?
time too, the biggest one of the biggest reasons to buy a house is over time you build, like you said, you build equity in the home.
Exactly.
So, and another big thing, and I know it was kind of one of my things when I was renting was, well, when I buy a house, I can't just call them up and get my AC fixed and not have to worry about that bill. But over time, you know, with the home, you can build your equity and you can take out what's called a home equity line of credit.
Well, you can
And
also
so-
do a home warranty. We always did a home warranty because it had a copay, so I knew that it was never going to be repair and replace. So there are home warranty companies out there that I recommend that can be even less than, again,
Yeah.
you weigh the options because it takes a little bit to
Yeah.
get that.
For the bigger stuff, though, I mean, you know, like for the roofs or the AC, if they need completely replaced,
Right,
$20,000
There's
or whatever it is, you can take that out.
But here's another thing. Think about this. When you get a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, you know what your mortgage payment's going to be. It might go up a little bit because of taxes, but basically you know what your mortgage payment's going to be. When you're renting, right, they can raise that rent. And some of them, gosh.
Yeah, I had
mean,
a friend get
lot.
priced out. They raised it $400.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, so you have no control over that. And so then now you have to come up with money to move and all of that. So
Repay
that's-
all your deposits and
Right. So that's
when you buy a house, there is no security deposits. You don't have to pay your pet rent every month. Yeah, that's crazy to me. I get the initial charge, like an extra security deposit, because I guess pets can cause more damage.
Not
but
everybody's
the monthly
responsible.
rent is just a
Yeah.
little much in my opinion.
Yep. So that's like I said, that's a good thing. And again, and a realtor will explain to you. I always let people know, do you want a home warranty? And that's all negotiable. And with Abigail and I being good negotiators, depending on the situation, we may be able to get the
Negotiate
seller
another
to pay
price.
that for you. Yeah. So we have definitely gotten even the seller to pay at least for the first year for you.
Yeah.
So that all you have is, your AC goes out, you might only have a $150 deductible instead of a $2,500 repair.
Exactly.
So that's huge. That's huge.
So now I want to talk a little bit more about first-time realtors. So that would be me. I'm a first-time realtor. Like I said, started back in May. If you're curious, just let you know, since I do love them, this is not sponsored by Aceable Agent, but Aceable Agent is who I use to get my real estate pre-course license before I was able to take the test. They were amazing. I think it was like $200 for the whole course, testing materials, a study guide, and it was very entertaining, to be honest. It was funny. Like it kept you very
engaged.
exactly engaged, intrigued.
Yeah.
If I had already known something, it would allow me to skip ahead. I hate when there's like stuff and it's like
Yeah.
just like kind of the nonsense. Yes, it's important, but there's some nonsense in there and it doesn't let you skip it. And it's like, oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
it
so
was
it's
able to
good
let
that
me
not
go at
everybody
my
has your
own pace and
experience,
everything. So yeah, definitely with, I went to college for finance. So I did a lot of like the mortgage stuff and the numbers wise and calculations I was
Yeah.
good on. So I was
Me,
able
not
to
so
skip through
much.
that. Yeah, we're a little opposite on that side.
Yeah.
So,
And then, Watson, we're with Watson Realty Corp here in Northeast Florida, one of the largest privately owned real estate companies in Northeast Florida. And, some of those real estate companies have their own
Real estate
training
school,
also.
they
Yeah,
do.
So Watson has that. And for your continuing education and that. So there are options. Just make sure they're legitimate options.
Yes.
And that, because there's a lot of scams out there.
unfortunately.
So again, if you know what real estate office you're going to go with, maybe ask that broker, who do you recommend for real estate school? So that would be a good one. First thing is to get your real estate license. The other thing is to go with a real estate company that provides great training. I think you can attest, our broker does a fabulous job. I mean, I've been in the business, I have over 30 years experience, personal and professional, but I still go to his meetings every month because I learn something every time. They keep on top of the new regulations. Again, this new buyer broker agreement, and then they changed it, and then they changed it, and they changed it. If you're not going to those meetings, they're not providing those meetings, you're on your own. So the first thing I would say is really watch, if they say, oh, but you get 100% of your compensation. Okay.
But you don't get anything from us because you get
right.
100% of your compensation.
Right. And who has your back and who can you go to? So,
Which I don't think there's anywhere that gives 100% compensation. That
well,
might be
yeah,
a
they
scam
have their
a little
other
bit.
fees.
So.
Yeah, they have their other fees. So, but like I said, you get what you pay for. So, I definitely feel like Watson, and there are other companies out there that just give you a
Yeah.
lot of education and don't charge you.
And like they get a lot of sponsors. I know we went to the docking permitting
Yeah, not everybody,
class.
does
does
that,
stuff like
but
that, but Watson did, and
that
like,
was
we've
very
learned so
helpful.
much.
Yeah.
We use it almost every transaction now to make sure
Yeah.
it's not in a flood zone or
Wetlands.
you know, we have a house now that's on a lake. And they don't have a dock, but we're like, well, could you get a docking permit? Because that's a upsell for the house. You know, that, hey,
Right.
we have the permit. If you want a dock, you have a boat, whatever, you want somewhere to be able to walk out and jump in the
Yeah.
water on.
But we wouldn't have known to
So-
ask those questions. And then somebody else on the lake did one of
Nope.
those wood retainer walls, and we learned about what is okay
Oh,
to
see
do
the
and what's
seawall?
not. Yeah, if you don't get
can't just put that in.
permission and,
Because, yeah, the seawall for the environment, you know.
yeah, so that's
We got to protect our
important.
environment. It is
So again, a good office, you'll get to learn, you know, and that was, he brought somebody in. I think
and we
even
get
had
free
her-
lunch.
Yeah, lunch and learn,
That's
and they'll
always
bring
good.
in different people, home inspectors, roofers, just different people to come in, and they get like 5-10 minutes at the beginning. We get to ask questions afterwards. So again, these are things that your real estate company could be providing for you, that you get a wealth of information
Yeah.
from these contractors and different
Yeah.
people. So
A big thing, too, to remember is fees. There are a lot of fees
Yeah,
when you're
start
first starting out. So, like, yeah, just be prepared. You know, if you don't have somebody that is able to also support you, just be aware that you're going to have, probably a couple $1,000s in fees
Yeah,
at least
absolutely.
before you
Well,
get
and your gas
started,
and
and
everything. Like when I
gas and
started-
signs.
I
And,
mean, I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for your dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he supported me, and there are months where, we call it feast or famine. You might be doing great, and then all of a sudden the market, dies off. Or we all know a lot of people move in the summer because they want to do when their kids are out of
Kids
school
are out of
and get
school.
them settled before school. But then the winter might not be. So yeah, so it is important that you have a big support group, that you budget as a new realtor. That if you get that big paycheck, put it away. And just give yourself an
put it away
allowance.
in a money market, okay?
Okay.
Please do not just use a regular bank savings.
Yeah.
That gets you 0.002 interest.
Yep. So anyway, so the other is a broker who will answer the phone. I had a new agent, and he kept asking me questions, and I said, well, give your broker a call.
What would happen if you just called Taylor up?
That's why you're paying him, why he's getting part of your compensation. He said, I hadn't even met him yet. I was like, how long have you been in real estate? He said, a year. And I just blew my mind. So again, guys, it's really important that, who you choose, that they're going to be there for you. Mm-hmm. So, and then your mentor, find a successful realtor. Look at that board and see who those top realtors are, and ask them questions, engage. I said, you have a few minutes of your time. If you're in the office, I have some questions. Don't waste your time with the gossipy stuff. Get into the good stuff. Get into the real estate stories. Learn from someone else's experience.
Gossip a little, because you learn a little. Don't be the gossiper. Just have a ear open, because you can learn a little bit.
Yeah, but as a realtor, you can negotiate things, that you would never thought to ask for, and working with experienced agents, talking to your builders, build those relationships with the builders. Go in and say, oh, so what houses do you have for sale, and what are the incentives? And they'll tell you things that they won't say in front of a buyer,
potential buyer.
And if you need to, I can probably get you that screened in back
Yeah.
patio.
Well, I've seen these videos,
So
and
guess-
it's the car dealership, and it's like the things I've seen negotiated to
Right.
close this deal, and it's like the crazy. I want a McDonald's.
Yeah,
or
I have my little secrets in my pocket that I can
Yeah.
pull out and get. So, yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. So speaking of a little crazy, little out there things that you do, I know you definitely have some crazy stories.
Let's see. I think I could write a book.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. One of my favorites, one of my craziest. I was out. People laugh when I have to ask them in Florida, first, are you married? You know, two people want to buy a house. Are you married? And they say yes. This was back when I was newer.
But you don't have to be married to buy a house.
Right,
But
no, you
it's
don't.
something we ask.
Yeah, it's something that they need for title, for legal, how to legally title the house you're buying. So I was out with this younger couple, and I asked them if they didn't have the same last names. Again, which is fine. You get that a lot, especially if you're a licensed professional or whatever. You keep your maiden name. So we go out and we find a house. They're all excited. And then we go to do
Hold
the
on.
title work.
What do you mean you have to ask?
So once you find a house, you do have to ask. And they told me they were married. I said, okay, great. But then when it came to title, this is the thing in Florida. I found out they were married, but not to each other. And that's fine. But in Florida, that means 4 people are buying the house. Okay. So your spouse that you're not divorced from, it's called marital.
I could get. No.
Marital assets. So, and they were like, I said, so just so you know, the 4 of you, and they're like, oh, no, we don't want that. And I said, well, okay, if you don't want, even if their name is not on the mortgage, even if their name is not on the deed in the state of Florida, if you are married, that person owns part of that house. So it is really important. People just laugh. They say, I just have to ask this for title. Once you find a house, it's just, are you married? Yes or no? That's fine. The other thing is if you're divorced, the title company has to know that. Are you legally divorced? If you're in the process of a divorce, again, now title has options. They can let you know some options for that. But if you buy, they'll never know. If they find out, yeah, they own part of that house.
Yeah.
So it's marital property if you buy it while you're married. So I see title all the time. Okay, do you have that divorce decree? Are you legally, is it finalized? Because if not, they will own part of that house. So that was probably one of the most interesting stories is I did my due diligence when they found the house and said, oh, are you married? They're like, oh, yeah. So I was like, okay, great. And then title came and said,
They're married.
but not to each
Not
other.
to each other.
So, yeah. So, like I said, you can do it. You just got to be aware that 4 of you are going to own a house. But yeah, you don't have to be married. You can buy with a friend, a relative, a partner.
So that's a thing now. I don't know if you've seen, but like a lot of women who, don't get married, don't want to have kids, or do have kids and aren't married or divorced. They move in, they buy a house with their best friend,
Yep.
friend.
So, and then for that kind of stuff, we just recommend a real estate attorney.
What happens if,
we don't
you
give
know?
legal advice. Title doesn't give legal advice.
Yes.
You get a real estate attorney and say, okay, this is our situation. How should we title this? Because there are a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You can have life estates
Yes.
and trusts and all kinds of things. So,
Well,
so
there's
that's
just a lot of,
something a real estate attorney.
what ifs, and it's important to do your due diligence. That's a big one for us, and that you guys should know is doing your due diligence is very important. As you know, there's a lot of fair housing laws, for a reason, but a lot of questions you may have. A realtor, we can't answer that because it's an opinion and not a fact. So we have to, everything we give you, needs to be factual. So things like, is this a good area? How are the schools? And especially in
That's
Florida.
another one. Like a lot of people say, well, what school district is it? And we just tell them you'll need to go there and and this is why. Because think about it. Remember when we were in the Tampa area and they redistrict. And so when we bought the house, it was one school, and then they did a redistricting, and all of a
And by
sudden
the
you had
time
to go to
school
another
came,
school.
yep.
So that's why we just, we can't give that kind of advice. Your best is to go to the school, talk to the staff there and say, we're buying at this address. Is this address in your school district? And are you aware of any redistricting coming up? How soon? But it's kind of out of your control,
Unfortunately. And
Yeah.
there's ways you could, maybe keep them there. If they've been there, there are ways, but you don't want to have to go through that hassle.
And you want to know what
so.
that school's procedure is, to do that. There's the, schools when you're doing the specialty
Charter schools?
charter schools. Yeah, sometimes if you're a charter school, that maybe you'll lose your bus.
Yeah, so you would
But
just have to
your parents have
drive.
to take you, or you got to get a ride share. to take you to and from school. So, anyways, just do your own due diligence if schools are important and you want your child in that specific school. But your realtor can give you general, you can see online on
What website to go to?
homes.com, Zillow, all of those will give you what it's currently at according to their records.
According to their records, yes.
Yeah.
Again, iowa.org.gov, the
Right.
government
Yeah.
websites are your best way to go. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Well,
You think that wraps it up for our first podcast?
I do. So one of the things we want to start doing is having our viewers ask us a question that we will answer on air. So if you want to, leave a comment below and you will just give us your name, where you're from, and your question. It doesn't have to be about, first-time homebuyers, anything like that. We're going to do, different topics every episode, hopefully. Again, all mostly about real estate, but we may slip in something else every now and then.
Yeah, and we'll have
Keep
some
it
guests too.
interesting.
I'm excited. We have
Yes.
some guests lined up for everybody.
Yes.
Some builder reps, some lenders,
Other realtors,
other realtors. Yes.
commercial real estate. That's something we started dabbling in a little bit.
broker, some broker opinions, some homeowners insurance.
Yes. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff for you guys. So like and subscribe if you like this first episode.
Yeah.
It is only up from here. I know our quality might not be the best this round, but we're gonna try and fix that next time. But we appreciate you guys. And
All right.
like I
Well,
said,
coffee
like,
up.
subscribe. Welcome to the Coffee Up Podcast. Bye, you guys.